So how many of you are chefs over here? Okay. How many of you like to cook? Good. How many of you, we all like to eat. How many of you would like to cook but there's a kind of fear that you can't cook? Okay, great. So I'm in good hands today. Yes, it's about expertise, it's about cooking techniques, but more of it, what it is about, it's about love, it's about passion. Now, through my years of experience, I've come to know, or I've come to this conclusion that expertise, training is definitely one thing, but above all is love and passion to do something. Now, I'll give you the example of eggs. Now, each dish is an extension of a person's love creation. So, from boiled eggs and regular eggs, you can make eggs Benedict, deviled eggs, bhurji, eggs Kejriwal, and lots more. So basically, it's not rocket science. A dish is created because of the passion to cook and the passion for that particular ingredient, especially eggs, in this reason. Now, I'll give you a living example of this. It's in my house, my daughter Tanisha. Now, it's one Saturday morning, I get, I can't see without my lenses, so I go to the kitchen and I said, wow. And there I see my daughter. At that time, I think she was about 10 or 11 years old. And there she's whipping up some eggs. There's like bacon cooking on another pan. The toaster has the bread inside. There's music playing on an iPod. I said, wow, what a kitchen. I said, I don't remember teaching you how to make this egg. Or did I teach you how to chop the onion? Saying, no, Papa, I think you taught me how not to chop my fingers while I'm cutting an onion. I said, wow. So I said, wow. So that got me actually I was quite flabbergasted. I was thinking, I said, oh my God, here I am, this iconic chef at home, and I've actually not been a mentor to my daughter I travel, I'm out most of the time, but that's not the point. But the idea is that how did she pick up all these things? And that began to give me a deeper meaning that, you know what, anybody can cook. And then what happened was, we used to watch Iron Chef, Cake Boss, and she used to just sit down and just say nothing. And one day, a very well-known pastry chef, a good friend of mine, comes over, and three of us are seated there, and she starts talking about cooking temperatures of sugar. She's talking about sponge sugar, how to make a glass wall made with sugar. And I said, hey man, how do you know all this? Saying, Papa, my teacher and my guide is YouTube, okay? So don't send me to school now. I can learn anything what I want, and I can do anything what I like, because everything is there right in front of you, which actually blew my mind away. And then she was making her eggs, and then she puts the eggs into the pan, and I told her that, okay, now have you tried flipping the eggs? So she's saying, yeah, I can try. But I said, you have to be very careful because you need a lot of practice. Saying, you know what, Papa, even if I can't flip them, I'll try. But once I flip them, and if they crack, you know what? I have scrambled eggs at least. So this is like one of that whole feeling that now you begin to realize that yes, we go through a lot of training, we go through a lot of expertise, but at the end of the day, if you really want to do something, you can definitely do it. Now I was the famous chaiwala when I was 7 years old, and my first cooking experiences were on being a Boy Scout at a campfire, cooking on wood. And all I remember that my senior scout had told me that you have to make the potato bhaji and the rice for the camp today. I said, great. So my memories of my first dish I ever cooked was bits of potatoes which were not of the same size, a lot of turmeric, salt, a lot of red chili powder and water. I know it sounds really delicious, right? Now there was this rice which I made which had like a nice black brown crust at the bottom, so that when I lifted the pan, it was this whole smoky flavor. And you know what? I felt really good after I cooked these dishes. You know why? Because I was cooking for the first time ever, and I actually achieved something. Forget the taste and flavor, that's a different issue altogether. But the fact is that I did something for survival. Nobody really told me that it had to taste good. They just told me that I had to cook. So that was the beginning of my journey to the real life cooking. And so my point about giving you all these examples is that it's not rocket science. The first pickup line I get, you know what, just because you're a chef, you can do it. Is it that easy? So I said, yes, it is easy. I said, we chefs are just like you people who actually learn a little, but we absorb, but we cook with passion. We like to feed different people. And definitely if you love what you do, and if you want to feed somebody and make people happy, I'm sure you can cook. Definitely. I don't know whether as good as me or not. So, and after that, the second question, you know what? How do I get all these things? You know, you go all around the world. These are all exotic ingredients. So that is another excuse what people give, that no, you use too many exotic ingredients. But now, look what technology has done for you. You don't even need to go to the market anymore. On the phone, a flick of a switch, you have all your groceries at home. Another flick, you pay for it. Secondly, after you cook, you can even take a picture and post it. So there's lots that can happen what technology has done to you. The next thing what people say is that we don't have time. Okay? Now, there's nothing about we don't have time. Every day, I mean, it's 24 hours. We can't change that. Okay? So I think more than having time, it's about the fear. Okay? It's about the fear of not actually cooking properly, or just the fear of not doing it, which is the main thing what it is. So now you have technology again which gives you videos, which gives you instructions, which tells you everything what you can do. So now you have the ingredients at home. Now next, what do we do? So technology has taken one thing away from us, is that it has given us a lot of problems as well. Okay? Technology has made us realize, and especially let's move on to the marketing side of it, that in today's day and age, marketers have taken that advantage of actually making that fear magnified and actually forcing you to get into processed foods, which are definitely not good for you. Also at the same time, technology has given you ingredients and produce which is also of good quality. So there are pros and cons of technology as well in this incident. Now, since you've got the ingredients, you've seen the videos, you know how to cook. Now, since I'm in this whole management college here, I have set up a little framework or a little mantra of what you should do. First, listen. Listen to the sounds of the first cracking of the jeera seeds and the mustard seeds which go onto that pan, and the cracking of the cinnamon. Also try and listen to that crunch of the bread, okay? That breaking of that papad and that crunch of that juicy cucumber in your mouth. Enjoy that. After that, smell. The tadka, the melting of the olive oil or the ghee or the butter, the curry leaves, these beautiful spices are completely going into... Are you feeling it or not? No? Okay. After that, what you have to do is you take a breath and understand what's happening around you, and you read. Now, you've got lots of cookbooks. You start reading. You've got blogs. You've got really good articles. You've got a lot of information which is there on the internet around you. Unlike the good old days where the Femina or the Illustrated Weekly, where women used to cut recipes from pages and make cookbooks out of it. Those days are gone, okay? After that, what you need to do is practice. Get down and get your hands dirty. Learn to make a nice dough, feel that the feeling of making dough, okay? The feeling of that wetness, then moving into that the whole mechanical process which happens in cooking is the best feeling, is that you have to empower. Learn from your mistakes, learn from people around you. There's a lot of information going on there for you. Secondly, or lastly, I would say taste. Now, I think taste is the end factor. Don't worry about the taste at the moment. As we say, an old cliche, it's not the destination, but it's the journey. So enjoy the whole process of getting to know ingredients, learning how to treat them, learning how to cook, learn how to make new flavors out of them. Now, we live in a country which is a very, very food-centric society. In every 50 miles, we have different kinds of dishes which are happening. So there is a lot of culture, there's a lot of flavor, and there's everything around you to make each one of us who's sitting in this room to be a really good cook, okay? Or at least a cook. So all I can say is don't get the fear out of you and definitely move ahead towards a really good, healthy lifestyle and eat well and feed others and be happy. Have a good one. Thank you.